nice and upbeat.
What? That wasn't upbeat before?
No.
Was it really flat and boring?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Welcome to the Swifty Podcast, inspiring positive change through design, innovation, and technology. Hello, welcome back to the Swifty Podcast. It's really nice to see you all in 2022. Sorry, we had a bit of a break in 2021. We're going to go through that now as to why. Lots to discuss, lots of news.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. So, what are we going to talk about first?
So, let's talk about the fitness stuff. So, Swifty Fitness is our new sub-brand, and there's loads of cool products on our website. Do you want to talk through what they are?
Yeah, so we've got the whole range of balance boards now. We started with the classic one, which we launched, which was really successful. And now we've just added the second product to the balance board range, which is the fishtail balance board. We've designed the new version because we wanted to make a slightly cheaper product for everyone to be able to purchase than the classic, because the classic is a beginner's board, but the fishtail is more of an advanced board. It doesn't have the stoppers underneath. It doesn't have the V-carve pattern because you don't really need it, and it has a different shape, so it's got that kind of really nice surf kind of reference in there. So it's a bit more freestyle for doing tricks because you're not restricted as far as how far you can go on the roller. And so that makes it faster and much more agile, but it is an advanced board. So if you're thinking of purchasing a balance board, and you're a newbie, a beginner, start with a classic. That's nice and safe. There's lots of grippy surface on there with the V-carve pattern, and the stoppers obviously stop you from rolling off the end of the roller, which is the typical thing that happens.
Yeah, so our classic one's still really popular because of those fins and the grip.
Yeah,
it's
really
more
popular.
Expensive, but still really popular. But the fishtail just looks awesome. It's got this surfy vibe. Makes you want to go on holiday.
Well, we sent the fishtail over to America, to Florida, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we did a photo shoot over in Florida. And yeah, it was great because we didn't have to be in the photo shoot like we normally do. We actually got some young models to be in it, so that was nice. Palm trees and nice colours, so sets the vibe right. So with Swifty Fitness, there's still more to come. There's loads of products that are coming, and the really exciting thing is that they're all those products are 100% made right here in these four walls of our new Swifty HQ. That's
right. So we've invested in loads of cool machinery that's downstairs. Mm-hmm. It'd be cool to show you downstairs.
Yeah, there are some images.
The other thing is, though,
yeah,
we've only just moved in here in the summer. So this is our new podcasting space in our new office, which has windows, heating.
It's a bit of an upgrade from the last place.
Our initial place was definitely a bit more rugged and raw, wasn't it, in Salford?
Yeah.
So, yeah, downstairs is our workshop. So that's where everything happens in terms of production. Mm-hmm. It's great to have those separated, really.
Yep, we've got new staff, new people helping. Yeah. It's great. We've got a growing team. So the reason why we had to move, needed more office space, as Camilla said.
Yeah.
And we've got that now, which is great.
Do you want to list through what machines we've got?
Really? Do they need to know that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a really lovely laser cutting and engraving machine. That's how we do all the graphics on the balance boards and the other products. We've got an awesome CNC machine, which cuts out all the plywood and carves the shapes into the plywood. We've got various sanding tools and machines. The list is endless. We've still got all the
routing machine.
Yeah, we've got the table router. A lot of stuff we've built ourselves as well.
Loads of extractors for health and safety.
Tick.
Yep.
Extractors.
I think it's important because people wonder why our balance boards are the price they are.
Yeah, well, that's not just because of the machines that we've bought. It's because manufacturing in the UK is expensive. Well, I guess it's one and the same thing, but
there's a lot that goes into making a product a really nice product. I mean, there are
lots of finishing processes. Actually, there's so we take a 8 foot by 4 foot standard sheet of 18mm birch plywood, and that plywood actually, it comes from a variety of different sources, but the original actual wood comes from Russia. It's Russian birch. It's very, very good quality, and we buy that from a reputable FSC approved stockist, so that's good. So the sheet is cut into, you get 6 balance boards out of one sheet, and we cut it into smaller individual parts. So it comes off the machine, then it gets painted, it goes back on the machine, it gets cut, trimmed out, and it gets routed, and it goes back on the machine again to be pocketed where the fins go in, and it comes off again, goes into the laser cutter to be engraved, and it comes off, and then there's lots of different hand finishing processes to make it that perfect board, which has got beautiful finish to it. So yeah, Camilla is very right. There's a lot that goes into making something that on face value looks like a simple product, but as you know, our audience, and if you're new, we don't take any shortcuts. We are really passionate about our products, and we want to make them the best that we can make them. And yeah, that's why they're more expensive, but frankly, I don't really care how expensive they are. It's about the quality, really, because quality does go hand in hand with the experience, and if you have poor quality, you'll generally speaking have a poorer experience. So I want you to open that box when you get it, and I want you to go, wow, that's beautiful, because then you're making priceless memories then of your first try or go on the product. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to make an amazing experience with something that has a benefit to your life and well-being.
So we've been selling those for just over a year now.
Yep. And done over 1,000 boards.
The last podcast was launching the fitness.
Oh, was it really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I guess we've been busy making the fitness stuff all this time. But already we've got some great stories coming back from the customers saying how it's helped them and how people have really loved using them, and especially in the lockdowns and working from home, how beneficial they've been. So that's all really positive, and that's going pretty well.
I think it's also worth mentioning, like we've said this before, but the reason why, there's a number of reasons why we launched Swifty Fitness as a kind of a sub-brand, but first and foremost, it was we had huge problems with the supply chain of scooters. As you may or may not know, our scooters are manufactured in Taiwan primarily. We do some stuff here, but we've got an excellent supply base there. And there was huge problems with supply chain. And the other reason was because we did a video some years ago on how to kick scoot like a pro. And in that video, I showed an exercise just on a foot plate of a scooter, because then I could show how to switch kick from side to side, and that kind of set the scene of or seeded the idea of maybe you could have something at home, because people really struggle with switch kicking if their balance isn't very good. After scooting for some time, you will get better at that, but if you're a new scooterist, you might struggle. So we did a video on some home exercises that you can do just on the floor, really. I mean, you don't really need to step on anything, but it seeded this idea of maybe a balance board would be a great idea. And so that was the second reason. And then the third reason was obviously COVID hit. We were all in lockdown, and home training really just exploded. And so we really wanted to invest in manufacturing more in-house in our four walls, so we were in complete control of that. So we had product to sell to you lovely customers. So all of those things put together is why we invested in manufacturing, and it's been really, really good. Really, really good.
Yeah. So we were sort of forced to diversify the company, weren't we?
Yeah.
Because of the supply chain thing, and it's been positive.
Yeah.
Building that sort of another level.
Yeah, I think that's one of the interesting things about this whole pandemic issue that we've been going through for 2 years, is that it seems to be generally as kind of like a trend. There's like two kind of trends. It's either like you stay locked down at home and you just go, I'll treat it like a holiday and I'll just chill and sit on the sofa, Or the other way is to, right, here's the time to innovate and change. And I've seen that. I mean, I remember watching a news program about restaurants and cafes, and they were interviewing a cafe that was, oh no, it's all doom and gloom. I have to close. I can't keep my staff or afford the rent. We can't have people come and sit inside. And then in the same news report, they went over the road where another cafe on the other side of the road had built like a cardboard window and were serving takeaway coffee. And they were like, yeah, we've got a roaring trade. So it's about your perception, your attitude, and, taking every knock on the chin and just going, right, where's the opportunity here? What can I do with this extra resource or this different environmental pressure? I have to diversify, I have to evolve, I have to change and adapt. And we adapted. So Swifty Fitness is great. It's really fun to be working in that segment.
Yeah.
And there's loads more products to come, loads of cool stuff. We just need to find the time to do it.
Yeah, but it's going well.
Yeah. So we've covered the moving property.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little list here that I'm reading off. And we talked about supply chain, growing company. One really cool thing that happened in 2021 was that COP26 was taking place up in Glasgow, and we were really lucky to work again with Basil. Shout out to Basil from Thought Partnerships, and we supplied a fleet of scooters to a new co-working space up there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So the fleet side of our business before COVID was like a really exciting part of the business. So selling private scooter fleets to business. So it's like a corporate mobility solution. And because everyone was working from home, no one was buying fleets.
Yeah.
All the co-working spaces were struggling. So it was really great to have Thought Partnership interested in our scooter fleets again. And they are a custom colour, custom branded, beautiful. We did a special display stand for them in the lobby.
That's right.
And the building itself it's just really exciting sort of business to be working with, because they're motivated by sort of making a most environmentally conscious building as they possibly can. They've won quite a few awards for doing that. So, I mean, there's so many things they've done to their buildings. I mean,
I think it's reflecting on how modern companies now, what they're having to offer new talent to come and work for them. So everybody expects a shower facility because they want to cycle in. They expect a storage facility for their mode of transport, whether it's a bike, a scooter, you name it. They expect...
so you think it's consumer-led? So the customers are demanding this sort of more competitive...
Well, I think the new unicorn companies that are growing and exploding, who want a new modern working environment, they have to attract the newest and best talent, and the newest and best talent have different expectations of their working environment. And I think what they're trying to achieve with the spaces that they're designing and creating is a flexible space that has all of these mod cons. So the building needs to be really airtight and super efficient with energy, for example. It has to have a usable, adaptable space that you can fit all the different businesses that want to operate in that space. So working with buildings like CADworks up in Glasgow and Wilmore Green in Manchester is really cool for us, because we share the same types of qualities and aspirations with our business and what we're doing. I mean, scooting is a really great alternative mode of transport. It's green, it's eco.
Yeah, well, we share the same values, don't we?
Yeah.
And the fact is that environmental sustainability has got to be top of the agenda. I mean, COP26, that's what it was about. Making it the top of the agenda for everybody in the whole world.
Yeah.
This is a global event. I mean, and just small companies like ours and companies like Full Partnerships, they're, addressing that head on, and they're doing their best to, have better working practices. So it's a great partnership, basically, and we help them with their environmental targets, because their staff can make zero emission journeys and keep fit and everything, and that's all part of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool, right? I mean,
yeah.
If you're a young new talent graduate, a couple of years in, whatever, and you're looking for the next move, and the choice is to work in, an old, drafty, horrible building, or in a new, cool, exciting, environmentally friendly space that's got all of the mod cons that they provide. I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? So they've got a really good positioning in the market. No wonder why they've won all the awards that they've won. So well done, guys. Right, 2022. Let's talk about 2022. It's a new year. Lots happening. Really exciting time for us.
Yeah, in fact, we've got more fleets on the horizon, which we're not announcing yet, but some very cool one in America.
Yeah, over in America. Big fleet in America. We will talk about that in the coming weeks once we've delivered that fleet. But it's really cool. So we have the new colours for 2022 are in stock. They've arrived this January. Do you want to just...
Super delayed, but they're finally here.
They're finally here. Been massively delayed, haven't we?
They should have arrived last spring. Can't believe it's that long.
Well, I think we're lucky, really. A lot of other companies have struggled massively and/or have faltered, and we haven't. We've stayed strong and we've coped.
So lucky.
So it doesn't matter if they're waiting. Thank you to all the customers that have waited so long. I think some customers have waited over 8 months, 9 months for their scooters. So if you're watching, thanks very much. I know the wait is worth it, because
the wait was a bit painful, I know, for some customers and us. So we just really appreciate it that people would wait that long. So thank you.
Yeah. So the new colours, your colour master, Camilla, chooses all the colours. I don't get involved. She is the trendsetter. So do you want to tell the customer, the audience, what they are?
We've got the black standard colour, black anthracite, which is still selling really well and looks great. But the new colours are forest green, which is a sort of metallic. It's like a pine green, I guess, isn't it? Beautiful, kind of multi-tone green. It looks really great in real life, better than the pictures. So I don't know.
Buy one.
How else to describe it? And the other colour is called Echo Blue, and it's a solid gloss pastel blue, light blue. So both those tones are sort of inspired by nature, natural colours, like a sky blue and a pine tree. Quite muted, and they just look great.
A bit more understated, aren't they?
More understated. We used to have very sporty sort of brights, which I do love as well. So please comment in the comments. Do you like the sporty brights or the more muted classic tones?
Don't ask that, because you'll get people that'll say but either or, and then we won't know what to do next season.
Well, I'm interested.
Okay, fine, all right, great. So the folding scooter Swifty One comes in those 3 colours.
Yeah.
And the Zero comes in.
Well, the Zero and the they've been in stock since October.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the ones
already.
That arrived.
So the Swifty ones have just arrived, and also the Marines.
Yeah.
Just announcement. There's only one Marine left.
Is there really only one left now? Gosh. Okay.
Until September.
So when the next stock arrives.
There's someone.
If it isn't delayed. It's probably already gone by the time you watch this podcast. So, unlucky.
So Swifty One Marine is our top of the range kick scooter, but it is really popular, isn't it? Because it is just so beautiful, shiny, just lovely to ride, and it's fast.
Yeah, it's a very special scooter.
It is fast.
We also have, I didn't write in my notes, but I just remembered, we have a new partnership in Europe, actually. And so our retailers in Europe are now purchasing not from us in the UK, they're purchasing from us from a distributor in the Netherlands. Shout out to Vincent if you're listening to this. Great to be working with you again. So it's going to ease some of the hassle that we've had with shipping in Europe. So we do have lots of retailers in Europe who are signed up. You can see our stockist list on our website, and it's very much easier if you're in Europe to buy a scooter from those retailers, because there are issues in some countries with import duties and taxes because of all the whole mess that Brexit has caused for us. I don't want to talk about that because it's just so negative and boring, but it has had a massive impact on what we do, and it's been a huge challenge. It continues to be a huge challenge, but we have some solutions in place. So check out our stockist list on our website if you want to buy and you're in Europe.
So definitely use those European dealers. And actually it is a positive thing. Now we have our distributor, because it's a solution, and he can help us grow our European reach. So it could be good.
Yeah. The other really cool thing that is about to launch is the Swifty kickstand. Oh boy, it's going to be great to have this live. I know you've all wanted one for such a long time. And I'm laughing, not because I'm laughing with pain inside because it's taken so long to do. There's no excuses really why. It's just been one of those really difficult things to design and manufacture, because we don't like the leaning kickstands that's lean to one side, because as soon as you brush the scooter, it just falls over. So our kickstand has got two legs, and it keeps the scooter vertical when it's on the kickstand.
Do you want to just go through that in a tiny bit more detail about why the side kickstand was not a solution for the Swifty?
Yeah, so there are other scooters out there that have got big wheels like ours that have a leaning kickstand. However, the way that they connect to the frame is different on each one. Some of them work better than others, but we couldn't really find a good solution to connect a leaning kickstand onto the frame or the wheel. We always found when we did, and we simulated what other brands do, it wasn't quite stable enough. So because the center of gravity is kind of like it's basically just to the front of the foot plate. If you put a leaning kickstand in that position, the front wheel becomes lighter, and the wheel twists round, and it'll kind of move on itself. So if you just catch it with your elbow or something as you walk past it, it'll kind of walk off the stand and it'll just fall over. So I promise you,
if you have anything on the handlebar, like many of our customers use the
Ricks and the Cow rack
on the front, or a handlebar bag, or any shopping or anything like that. Then as soon as you tilt it to the side, the handlebars swing round and the whole thing falls over. So
they're not very stable.
We did test it.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, I don't want it to impede the scooting ability. And if you're gonna connect something to the frame at the front where your feet are kicking, you can clash your feet with whatever the kickstand design is. So I promise you, I tried maybe 8 different designs, didn't we? We thought we'd cracked it about 4 or 5 times. I remember coming into the office like, yes, I've fixed it, I've done it, and then we tested it and it was like, damn it, no. So in the end, this kickstand, it works by connecting to the rear wheel in every case, and it uses a really clever spring design. So the spring cams over the center and it holds the kickstand up off the ground, and it has these 2 stainless steel legs which are nice and chunky, and they spring out. And so it's all designed to work with the Swifty 1, Swifty 0 and the Swifty Air. There's 2 models. So there's a wider and a narrower one. So the narrower one is for the Swifty 1 because the rear wheel of a Swifty 1 is narrower than the Air or the 0.
And that actually means that when you fold it,
yes,
it has to be so compact to fit through that.
Yeah.
The footplate.
Yeah.
The frame.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with the Swifty 1, the way it folds, the rear wheel kind of swings round up and through the frame and the footplate. And what this kickstand does is it folds away as you're folding it. So in the completely folded position, it's all tucked away and it's nice and neat. So it doesn't impede any of the logic behind why we fold the one the way we do.
The other thing about it is it's made here, Swifty HQ.
Yeah.
So these aren't made in the Far East. They're made in Manchester, and all the parts are made by local suppliers.
Yeah.
So where are they from?
Yeah, so shout out to Jet Metal over in Oldham. They're a fantastic partner. They're a really high-tech metal fabricator for the aerospace industry. They do a lot for airline carriers, remaking parts on all sorts of stuff. And they laser cut and fabricate some of the parts for us. We then get them powder coated. And we do all the final assembly here in Swifty HQ, as Camilla said. We check everything, make sure it all works. The springs are made over in, I think in Ashton, I think they are. And then over in Sheffield, the legs are made by a company over there who are fabulous as well, Farringtons. And then there's some other bits and pieces that we buy from wholesalers, like the little rubber grommets and stuff. But
those rivets.
Yeah, and interestingly, to actually rivet the parts in place, we had to fabricate some of our own tooling and machinery in-house to get that to work, because we wanted it to be perfect. So it's been a real mission to get the kickstand working and get it ready for production, but it's very close.
But what I was going to say also was that it works on the electric scooters.
Yes, that's a good point. So the electric scooters are obviously, not obviously because you don't know, but it has a hub motor at the front and the battery at the front. So that makes the front very front heavy. And so the kickstand is at the back. So that's great because that's the lightest part of the scooter at the back. And being at the back supporting it means that even if the handlebars twizzle round, it'll be fine. It won't fall over like the lean-to ones fall over. So that's the other reason. So we had to come up with a solution that would work with all the scooters in all the different scenarios, and that wasn't an easy thing to solve. Actually, the folding scooter design, that was easier than the kickstand. That sounds crazy, I know, but it was. I promise you it was. So that's coming out soon. I hope you enjoy that. 2 topics you wanted to talk about, and this is really your field, is the current legislation when it comes to e-scooters. What's going on? Because we know that's been an absolute minefield to try and follow. And then you wanted to talk about the clean air zone in Manchester, because that's also an interesting topic. So over to you with the current, where we stand currently with e-scooters. We do get a lot of questions.
So e-scooters, it's 2022 now. In 2020, they released the government trials. So they allowed the share scheme operators to work with councils to offer these shared fleets of electric scooters.
Which are very popular in Europe, if you don't know, and also massively popular in America as well.
Yeah. Well, they're being used everywhere, I think.
I know, but a lot of our community that are UK based won't know that, or didn't know that back then.
Yeah, I think the UK really is an outlier in not,
embracing micromobility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating for us and our customers, I guess. But so the trials were supposed to be like a 6-month trial, and I feel like at every stage they just announced an extension to the trial.
Yeah.
And again, the trials were meant to finish in November in 2021, and I just happened to hear on the grapevine that, we're extending for another 12 months. And the reason being is to get more data. So, I mean, I have tried my best to...
Let's cut to the chase, though, of what it is.
Yeah.
What is clear is that they're perfectly legal to own, and they're perfectly legal to sell for us, what we do, especially because we don't just sell in the UK, we sell them in Europe and to America as well. But it isn't very clear where you can use them, and generally speaking the law says that it's for private property only. So on the road or the pavement, technically it's not legal to do so. But what we do know is that for the scooter sharing operators out there, they're allowed to use them on the roads and cycle lanes. And you know, for us as a company, looking at this whole fiasco taking place, it's absolutely ludicrous that the scooter sharing companies, which use pretty much the exact same spec as the privately owned scooters, are whizzing around the roads providing this service. So what is going on? What is it that they need to prove? Europe have been doing it forever. I think the statistic is in 2020 or 2021. I can't remember exactly what the stat is, but scooters outsold electric scooters outsold e-bikes. How crazy is that? And we're still here twiddling our thumbs trying to decide whether privately owned scooters can be used in the same capacity. I think it's madness, absolutely madness.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to go into it, but there is a hell of a lot of lobbying that's going on. These scooter sharing companies, they have vast sums of cash that who knows where it's going and for what agenda, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a very dark and misty place there, because there's no other reason to have these trials taking place when Europe and the US are clearly having an impact on reducing emissions from individuals who want to swap their car for a more sustainable mode of transport. And you know, I'd love to talk to a lawyer to understand actually is what they're doing illegal, because
by extending the trials,
by only letting scooter sharing operators allow a technically illegal vehicle onto the road and stopping private owners, and in many cases impounding and taking their property away from them and fining them. I mean, it just seems crazy. It seems absolutely crazy. We have all of these huge targets to reduce our emissions, to clean the air up. You have a viable solution there that people are prepared to break the law to actually use. They're prepared to do that. They know that's going to happen. They need it so desperately that they're prepared to do it. And yet the government is still sending the police out to go and fine and take these vehicles off them. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And there's still no explanation from anyone. You know, I have been contacting officials for a long time over it, and there's no straight answer.
So during all of this time, I've kind of backed away from getting involved with it all, but I have been on some of the calls and I've watched some of the debates that have gone on. We've been invited to some because we're one of the only scooter manufacturers and brands in the UK. There are a couple, but you know, we're probably the biggest one by name and by heritage. And I remember being on a call with, I won't say who it was with, but it was with a couple of the big boroughs down south, and the council representatives were so elated that they were going to be putting a scooter sharing operation in their territory because it was going to save them a huge amount of money on the transportation bill that they have every year for their local constituents. And I'm talking about buses for grannies to get in to go shopping or to go to the hospital. They were super, super happy. Is Granny going to get on a scooter sharing scooter?
What do you mean? They were cutting bus
They were really happy that private corporations were going to come in and provide loads of scooters.
And they provide them for free as well, don't they?
The corporations do, because they want the data, because the value is in the data. Data is the new gold, right? And so the scooter sharing companies come in, they sign up all the individuals, they get their data, they're able to raise more money on that data, etc., etc. It's crazy, but that's how it kind of works. And so the win for the council or the borough is that their huge, whatever it is, X many millions a year that they spend on the transportation bills that they have to provide transportation for the constituents from public money, that bill can be slashed. Because you've got a private company coming in and providing that service.
That's not happening.
That's what's happening.
Oh, God.
And this is one reason why I had to take a step back from this whole space in the company, because I just couldn't stomach it. It was just outrageous.
Yeah, we were involved in one of the trial sort of pitches to one of the councils.
Well, we even pitched in our local council, Salford, where Swifty is born and bred and raised. We wanted to work with Salford Council.
They wanted to work for us, but
they chose someone else.
No, the main hurdle was, can you provide 100 scooters
in like a week
2 weeks for free?
Yeah. Crazy, absolutely
so
crazy.
The answer was no.
And somebody said yes. And did they do it in 2 weeks? No, of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. It took months. Anyway, good luck to them. I don't really care.
Can we just talk about some potential positives of these trials?
Yeah.
And those are that they've proved that the cycle network is insufficient. There's absolute data evidence now that if people are going to be using light vehicles, bikes, even just bikes, e-bikes, scooters, e-scooters, there's just insufficient. There's an insufficient network. It doesn't work in the UK. Yeah. It's broken up. Where there are cycle lanes, they just stop. It's not connected. The infrastructure is appalling, and it's part of the reason why people prefer a kick scooter, because you can ride them on a pavement and through a park and along a canal.
Yeah.
Legally. So
yeah, I think one good point, I remember this was your point on a previous podcast, but it's good to reiterate, because it does point towards some of the questions, because we do get quite a bit of negative feedback on some of the social media channels about when we advertise our electric scooters, that the typical response is, oh, they're illegal, you're breaking the law. Like those people are just virtue signaling. It doesn't bother me, but that is the typical response. But my response to this whole argument of insurance, no insurance, who's liable, pedestrians, yes, always come first. That goes without saying. If you're on a scooter and you're riding on a pavement, you're riding on the road, and there's a pedestrian, they always come first. It's common sense logic, and we are completely down for that. We're also not down for riding recklessly, speeding, crazy speeds, running people over, hitting kids, etc., etc. I just want to say this, because this solves this whole issue, because it's not personal opinion, but you've said this before, taking the example of what they do in Holland. The law in Holland is that if you are a vehicle and you hit another vehicle, but you were the bigger vehicle, you're at fault by default. So that means in the scenario, if you're in a car and you hit someone on a bike, you're the one at fault regardless of the situation, because you're in a bigger vehicle. I think that is a really, really great way to construct a law whereby people would be safe. Because in that scenario, if you're on a scooter and there's a pedestrian, you're the scooterist, you're at risk, you're liable because you're on the vehicle.
They have actually changed the highway code. That was one positive thing that came out last year. They've amended the highway code, and it's called the hierarchy of liability.
Oh, so it's in place already?
Yeah, last year.
That's amazing. Great.
That's probably why you know about it, because I told you.
Yeah, and I've forgotten. I'm sorry. Too much.
And you're right, it originated in Holland.
Yeah.
And what happened in Holland is in the 70s, the traffic going through Amsterdam was terrible. It was like Manchester is now. And at that point, they decided to make car use, trying to dissuade people from driving over and encourage people to cycle.
Yeah.
And so these sort of quite subtle changes in the law changes the culture of driving. Drivers stop to let the bikes go through. It's quite a subtle change, but it becomes a cultural change. And that's what we really need in the UK.
Yeah.
Because at the moment it's very, there's two sides. There's the cyclists and there's the motorists, and they're always arguing. And actually the scooters have come in and everyone seems to hate the scooterists, both the cyclists and the motorists.
Well, it's change, isn't it? We all
but
hate
this
change.
It's always drummed up by the British press, which is clickbait oriented.
Yeah.
The scooter articles you see, they're basically written to get clicks.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
they don't talk about what the real issue is. And the real issue is the levels of air pollution is, it's killing people.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Clean Air Zone Manchester then, because you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I do, because it was in the news yesterday, and I just thought it'd be interesting to open the debate up on the Swifty podcast.
Yeah. That's a good time to just mention also, we do read the comments for the podcast. So if you do have particular questions that you would like to ask us or on this topic, then feel free to comment below, because we will take that on board, and we might even discuss it on the next one.
Yeah. So the Clean Air Zone, it's a massive change for Manchester, and it's there's a lot of people who are upset about it, but at the same time they've been working to put these changes in place since 2015, when the High Court actually ruled all 10 councils that make up Greater Manchester, they all had illegal levels of pollution. So Greater Manchester is quite large and sprawling. Population is 2.9 million people. So it's probably double the size of Birmingham. It's fairly big, and it's made up of 10 separate local authorities. And each council then had to put in their own proposal to cut the air pollution, because it was illegal. You can't just have illegal. What's the point of a law?
And was the fine coming from central government or from
the High Court?
From the UK High Court.
Yeah.
Okay. And are those the High Court? Are they in alignment with European?
I don't know.
I think it might be.
It was pre-Brexit, so probably.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah, would have been. So the solution, which is about to be, it was proposed a few years ago. We've been planning it for ages. It's now 2022. This was back in 2015. It's about to come into place in May. So that gives people less than 5 months to, either comply, change their behaviours, or whatever it is.
Yeah. So explain what the measures are that they're imposing.
The charges that are going to be enforced in May are on heavy goods vehicles. They'll be charged £60. Vans, if they don't comply, so older diesel vans, will be charged £10 a day.
These are all business vehicles.
Yeah, business vehicles.
Yeah.
Taxis, if there's an old diesel, will be charged £7.50 per day. And it's controversial because, particularly to the kind of the light goods vehicles, the vans, it just seems really unfair to them. So a small business owner, perhaps builder, window cleaner, ice cream vans and stuff,
has to now flesh out on a new van, sell their old one.
Or they either have to upgrade their vehicle or they'll be charged.
The fine
and if they can't afford to upgrade, £10 a day is a lot.
Yeah.
And it seems really unfair to them. So actually they announced probably this morning or yesterday that they're going to now review the Clean Air Zone.
Oh.
It's now gone back to a review.
What?
Because there was a petition, 20,000 people signed it.
Really?
Because a lot of people just think it's completely unfair.
Well, I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair when you've still got your big diesel privately owned Range Rovers driving around, and they're not going to be part of the solution.
Yeah.
I mean,
I expect that in like 6 months to a year's time, they will then change the fines to include private vehicles. I mean, that's what I'm expecting. I think that's what happened in other zones like London, Birmingham. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean the London congestion charge zone, that works.
Everybody.
That works. We've paid for that when we've.
But the difference is public transport in London is completely different. It's a completely different landscape. It's flexible. It's regular.
There's more of it.
It's cheaper to travel than Manchester.
Yeah.
Just public transport here is completely different.
Yeah.
Like our train, there's one an hour.
Yeah. From home, you mean, to Manchester?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even to get home from here, there's nothing, literally no route.
I think we talked about this also off air, and also you mentioned an interesting point, and it was like, well, they're gonna fine all of these companies and possibly private owners eventually, but you said there was quite a high chance that actually nothing would happen in terms of cleaning the air up because people would just pay.
Oh yeah, precisely.
And so it wouldn't help anyway.
Businesses can't just, and if they can't afford to upgrade their van.
Well, some businesses have like our neighbours next door. They have a fleet of they've got like 9 or 10 vans, haven't they?
Which ones?
Just next door, the white ones here.
Oh, right.
There'll be.
Yeah.
I mean, you're thinking of just the sole trader, individual builder, but
the small
what
companies,
about who've got a fleet?
Yeah.
I remember we went when we were at Eroica, the festival, for the bike festival. I remember speaking to that coffee van owner. He had like a fleet of like 150 vans that he'd customized to be these coffee vans that drive to all the festivals.
Yeah.
He would be affected. Although, having said that, there's no festivals in Manchester, so.
But the van thing, does seem very unfair that you can drive a 4-litre old Range Rover Sport into town.
Back, that's true.
And a builder has to pay.
But by the same virtue, I also do think we have to do something. We have to start somewhere, and I think that's important. It does have to be fair. I would also say that doing this and expecting people to jump over to a new vehicle or purchase a new vehicle, given we all know the state of the supply chain with vehicles. You can't get new vehicles. They're very difficult to get hold of. We're really lucky we changed our company van before the pandemic, so that was really lucky for us because we had a slightly older VW Transporter, and we got
that would have been a £10 fine on that van.
Right. Well, we changed it because we knew it was coming. I do think it has to be fair, and it does feel like if it was a solution, if it was imposed and then people just paid the fine, what are you going to do with all that cash? I hope it gets put to some good use.
It'd be sensible if they said to us, with the money, this will happen.
Yeah.
What are the... I just haven't heard anything what they're going to do with the money
they need to write more research papers and white papers to just
on electric scooters,
to just make sure that what they're proposing
another study.
Yeah, another study.
But you're right. We're unsure about whether the air pollution will actually change. Once the clean air zone comes into effect. I think people just end up paying the money.
Oh, gosh, I hope not. Well, I hope they...
It's businesses. You can't just stop a truck delivering something.
Well, no, they'll just pay, won't they?
They'll just pay.
So it won't solve anything. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about, because I wanted to end on a positive note, was we didn't mention it earlier, but you might have seen us talk about it before, maybe not. I don't know if we said it before. It was a year ago, so maybe not. We are launching this year a new electric scooter, and it's been a long time in development, and obviously what's gone on in the last 2 years with the pandemic has affected that and delayed it, but it's really cool. And stay tuned, because I can't wait to show you all this really, really cool bit of kit.
And hopefully by the time it's here, we'll have loads of new cycle lanes paid for by the congestion charge.
But on a serious note, though, I mean, we are a British company, but it's also very sad to admit that scooter is specifically designed for the US market, because in the US market, they're completely legal. You can use them. And the European market is completely legal, and you can use them.
I think some places were quite slow at legalizing them, like New York City. I think.
Sure. Okay.
But now they are.
I'm generalizing, but it's a flourishing industry and business having real impact over there. People are loving to choose those modes of modality to get around. I think it is an absolute crying shame that there is a quite strong likelihood that when we launch that product, you won't be able to ride it on the road in the UK. And that is an absolute travesty. So we will be selling them in the US and in Europe, but possibly not here. So it's very sad, but it won't stop us doing what we're doing. We have to keep evolving.
There's still opportunities on private land,
Yeah, sure. If you
large business sites, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are still opportunities, but you're right. It's just madness. But we will continue.
Yeah, and just hope for the best. So thanks for joining us. It's been really cool. Camilla and me did the first one for 2021. Who have we got coming next? Oh, yeah, thanks. We're going to be doing more regular now.
That's really awful.
That's crap, wasn't it? Go. No, that's rubbish as well. Come on. Yay! There we go. Okay, thanks very much. See you next time.
Bye.